Hey everyone, it's Mojaxx back in the DJcity lockdown lab. A bit of a special episode for you today, certainly not a normal one. For quite some time now, our team at DJcity has been partnered with our good friends over at Beatport, and we've been working on Beatsource, which has been, up until now, through the first phase, a download store where you can go and buy open format tracks to use in your DJ sets. But we've always been pushing towards phase 2, and that is Beatsource Link. That's a streaming service designed for DJs. So it's fully licensed for use within your DJ software. You can use it to perform with, and we've got all the big labels on board and loads of great indies there as well. And there's a bunch of different features which you won't find anywhere else. So it's just gone into public beta inside rekordbox 6.0.1, which is also in public beta today. So it's time for us to take a first look. So we're going to start with the beatsource.com website. That's where you need to go and get this all set up in the first place. You may be familiar with this. You may have used it already to buy some tracks because it is a fully operational online store. And anyone can go and access that and check out the playlists and buy stuff from that. Now, we've got the link function, which is obviously the new thing, and that's what we're talking about today. And you can try it for 30 days for free on any of the 3 plans that we offer. Basically, the key points are you can prepare online and play anywhere. So you can build your playlists and then access them without an internet connection, without offline locker technology. That is patented. Only us and Beatport Link have that. It's not available anywhere else. If you want to save stuff into your DJ software, you're going to have to use Link for that. You can play any gig in any genre. This is an open format service. It's not tied down to one particular genre. Whatever kind of gig you're doing, you will find suitable stuff here on Beatsource for that. And it's custom and curated. And for me personally, this is the key feature of Beatsource as opposed to anything else. You've got these curated playlists created by our network of DJs, and so you know if you click on something looking for the club bangers, for the hits, for the stuff that's popping right now, or the real classics, that's what you're going to find because it's curated by DJs who know what is up. Now, it is music for all DJs. As I say, we've got lots of partnerships with the major labels, so Sony Music, Universal, Warner, and some great independents as well, like Mad Decent and Fool's Gold, and there's more and more coming online all the time. DJ software integration, of course, we're looking at rekordbox today. That has just been released into beta, and there are more on the way as well for different platforms. Now, these are the 3 options that you have, all of which you can try now for 30 days for free, just to check it out. If you want to get to know what the service is all about, you can absolutely do that at no cost. We've got regular Link, which is $9.99 a month, and that one includes the custom playlists and preview full tracks. All of these do that. If you don't have a Link account here on the site, if you want to preview stuff that you're looking to buy, you only get a limited preview. Once you've got a Link account set up, then you can actually preview the whole track here on the website. Then we have the audio streaming. Now with the regular Link, that's 128 kbps AAC, which is equivalent to 192 MP3. It's great for listening and kind of messing around and preparing stuff at home, trying out lots of different tracks in your DJ software. We then move on to Link Pro, and that is $19.99 a month. And that one, again, custom playlist, preview the full tracks, and that has 256K AAC, which is equivalent to 320 MP3. With that one, you do get the offline locker, so you can store up to 50 tracks in your DJ software, downloaded, so you can use them offline. Even if you're in a gig and you don't have an internet connection, you can still use those 50 tracks. Then there's Link Pro Plus, same as before, $29.99 a month, and that one, again, the same equivalent audio quality at 256 AAC, and that one has 100 tracks in your offline locker. And of course you can rotate those tracks. You don't have to keep the same ones all the time. You're not committed. That's the whole point of it. You can download another 100 a week later and swap them all around. Yeah, it's entirely up to you. The questions they have, yeah, you can cancel at any time. We have Beatsource Link with rekordbox, and DJ is on the way as well from Algorithm. And then I've talked about the quality, and are all the tracks available for streaming? Not all of the tracks are currently available for streaming, only those from labels that have opted into the Link subscription model. We are in the process of adding more and more partners, and there will be more content soon. And there are also some region restrictions. That's the nature of the beast. This is a fully licensed service, so we have to go along with what the labels want and what their needs are. And yeah, so some stuff is not always going to be available in your region, but of course we're growing that every single day. How many devices can I use it with? You can use it with up to 5 devices. So you're not locked down to, one computer or anything else. You do have different options. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to log in now to the site. So I'm going to sign in. I've got my account, of course, already. And then what we have here, we have the section for your own library. So we've got the collection, which is stuff that I've bought from the site. Then we have the downloads for any available downloads for stuff you've bought and haven't downloaded yet. And we now have playlists in here as well. Now this is basically the home of where your playlists live, and we can delete those from here. We can edit them. So if I go into one, let's go into one that I created. This is my demo one. It's all stuff on DJcity Records, so I can play it in this video, and I can go in and I can edit that. So I can drag stuff up and down, move the order of the tracks. I can delete tracks out. And if I want to add things into that, then I can do that. I can go through my collection, or I can go and search all the tracks and see what I want to add in there. And then we save it. So we can create playlists in a couple of different ways. We can just create one from here, and we just call it whatever we want. And we can add tracks as we just saw there. So you can add stuff from your collection, or you can actually go and search around the whole site and add in anything that you want. Again, then you can edit that. And there are other ways to go about it as well, in that you can actually add in, like you see, these are not my playlists. These are playlists that are on the site already. So let's go to that. Go to the playlist tab up the top. So now we're into our playlist tab, and this is where you'll find the curated playlists that have been put together by our DJs around the world. And so we can see we've got these great produced by series, the versus series. Obviously this is very much based on the current stuff that's been going on Instagram recently, and labels and crews, things like that. So we've got Dim Mak, Wu-Tang, Bad Boy, Fool's Gold, etc. And then we have your kind of open format options. And these are just, you know, you can use them as guides, or you can just add entire playlists into your personal playlist collection. So let's go in and just look at a genre. So we're going to reggae and dancehall. And we've got our featured playlists, Afrobeats Essentials, for example. Really big sound right now. And I can save that playlist to my library. So then once that's in there, that will show up in my library. I haven't downloaded anything or anything like that, but it's in my collection there. So Afrobeats Essentials, there it is. And I can go in and I can edit that playlist for my own purposes however I want to. So I can move stuff around, I can take some tracks out if I don't want them. And of course, the beauty of all this is that this is all going to reflect inside rekordbox. So let's move over to that now. So to get hold of the right version for this, you're going to need rekordbox 6.0.1, and that is a public beta at the moment. So you're going to have to go to forums.pioneerdj.com to get hold of it. It's not available at the regular rekordbox website. So once we're there, we click through to rekordbox beta, and we have the version there, newly released, and we can jump in there and download for Mac or for Windows. There's a summary of the new features. You've got support obviously for Beatsource Link, and there's been some improvements for Beatport Link as well. So we've got that downloaded, get it installed, and then we get onto the software itself. So as you open up the software, you're going to see this splash screen, and that is reminding you that you are using a beta version of the software. It's not to be relied on for public performance. Obviously not a lot of DJs playing in clubs right now, but yeah, nonetheless, if you're doing anything mission critical, then you shouldn't be using a beta version. That always applies to pre-release beta software. And in this case, not only are you using a beta of the software, but you're using a beta of Beatsource Link as well. So do make sure that you are just keeping that in mind as you play with this. It's not 100% reliable necessarily at this time. So we're going to click through, start the beta, and off we go. Now, this is a really crucial point to understand, and if you're coming from other DJ software to rekordbox for the first time, it can be a bit tricky to get your head around. It's really important that you understand there are two modes within rekordbox, and you have access to both of them with rekordbox 6 with the free version. You don't have to pay, but they are two distinct modes. We're looking at export mode right here, and if we go down on the left hand side, we look at the actual tabs there, then we don't have access to Beatsource Link at all. There's no sign of it whatsoever. Even if you go into the preferences, you're still going to see there is no sign of it. It just looks like it isn't there, and that's because Link only works within the performance mode of the software. Export mode is for when you're exporting tracks out to USB sticks, which is not functionality that you have with any kind of streaming service within rekordbox. It's all got to be done through performance mode. So that's what you use if you're playing with your laptop in HID mode on CDJs, or with a controller, or with DVS. You know, whatever you're doing, you must have performance mode enabled, as I have now here. And then what we see is you can click on the gear icon, and we have a lot more options than we did before. Now, if you go into view, we can see we have the option to view the different streaming services that are available within rekordbox. And now if we go down to the tab on the left, then we have Beatport and Beatsource have both shown up. So I've already logged in there. When you first do it, you'll see a login, and then you just click through that. It'll take you to the Beatsource site. You'll log in, and then you're good to go. I'm going to refresh my library, and this is what I've got in my Beatsource library. So we've got the top tracks where we can click on those and immediately get all of those coming up in the different genres. Then we have the Beatsource playlists, and you can see they're broken down by genre again. So we can click through onto those and they will all come up. It does take a few seconds because it's getting the data from the cloud. So it will take a moment or two for the data to come down and populate the artwork and everything else. What you will find that you don't have initially is waveforms, because of course you haven't added these tracks to your collection. You do have the BPM, so you can see what BPM a track is, and you have the artwork coming through alongside the other bits. So this is my Afrobeats Essentials. I've already added that one into my library. That was the one that I added from the curator playlists into my own playlist, so that's very easily done. And then what we can do if we want to actually play one of these tracks, we don't have to analyze it beforehand. We can just drag it onto a deck and it will analyze there. We've got the beat grid, we've got the waveform and everything else, and we can see we've got the key analysis as well. One thing which is important again to note is that generally, you know, within the format of tracks on like DJcity or wherever else, you have the artist, you have the track title, and the name of the specific version of the track is in the track title field within the tags. When this music comes into Beatsource from the labels, that's not the case. So what you'll need to do is get the mix name field in there as well, and you can add that in basically by right clicking on the top bar in any playlist, and you can add mix name in there, and then you'll be able to see exactly what each version that you've got is. So if we look, for example, in my demo playlist there, you can see we have the original mix and the extended mix of E Squire's track, and if I don't have that mix name field on display, I won't know which version is which. If you want to add some of this metadata into your collection ahead of time, you don't have to play a track in order to analyze it. You can actually right click a track or a selection of tracks if you hold shift, right click, import to collection. And that's not downloading the track to your drive, but it is analyzing the track. So you're getting the waveform, you're getting the key and everything else. All of that tag data, all that information is now saved into your library. And so when you load a track, it's going to be much quicker to load because the analysis doesn't need to be done there and then on the spot. And of course, it takes up only a tiny amount of space. You're only storing the metadata for the tracks, not the tracks themselves. You can of course go in and manually edit beat grids, and those changes, as well as any cues and loops that you set, will be automatically saved to your collection. So let's move on to how we actually get stuff into our locker. We can see my Beatsource locker down here on the left. These tracks are saved to my hard drive, so I have them in my collection saved to my drive. I can perform with these even without an internet connection at any time I like. They've got this little blue tick next to them which tells you they are offline. So let's do that with one of these tracks in this playlist. Let's say I want this Burner Boy track. I'm going to right click it and I'm going to hit store offline. And if you have a pro plan, there it is. It's downloaded and saved to my drive and can be played without an internet connection. That's not a problem for me to play that track anywhere at all. Now it's there in my locker. And if you have the Pro Plus plan, then of course you've got up to 100 tracks or up to 50 with the regular Pro. You do have the ability to mix and match files within a playlist. So if you make a playlist, then what we can do here, I've got my Beatsource tracks all in here, and I can actually take tracks from my regular playlist, you know, from the rest of my library, my own files, and I can add them into, for example, the Beatsource demo playlist. So now I have one track that is my MP3, and I've got my Beatsource stuff in there as well. We can also mix and match. If you've got Beatport link to, you can mix and match regular tracks, Beatport link tracks, and Beatsource link tracks, and offline or online, really doesn't matter, you can mix them all up together. Another thing to note though, as soon as you come out of performance mode and go back to export mode, all of those tracks that are in the link service will disappear from those playlists. So now that playlist has only got the tracks which have come in from my computer or they're in my rekordbox cloud, and we have performance mode and they'll all come back again. And finally, just to show you briefly, this all works with Pioneer DJ hardware. So I've got performance mode connected to the XDJ XZ via the USB port on the rear, and I'm using that as I would HID mode or a CDJ or with a regular normal controller. But I can browse from the screen, I can actually load tracks up there, and that is tracks that are saved to your offline locker or just tracks that you're accessing from the internet live as you play. If you have an internet connection at your gig or you're just practicing at home, you can access anything that's available inside Beatsource Link right there on your hardware as you would any local file. So there you go, a look around Beatsource Link and rekordbox 6.0.1, now available to download as public beta, so you can try both things out for yourself at no cost. They are in beta right now, it's early days, there will be changes coming down the line, and you shouldn't rely on this stuff for mission critical things right now, but certainly it's great to just dive in there and see what you make of it for yourself. At DJcity and Beatsource, we really do believe that this streaming stuff is going to have a massive part to play in the future of the DJ industry. It may not be for everybody, and there are going to be some people who don't like to move to new formats, Some people who will always cling to like physical media, like vinyl, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you look at the direction that the entertainment industry as a whole and the music industry specifically is going in, streaming is going to be a massive growth area. And we do think that what's needed is a streaming service by DJs for DJs. I know that's cliche, but that's what this is about. It's about building something from the ground up that DJs are going to get the best out of. It's not something tacked onto an existing streaming service. This is something that is being created by us, by DJs. So we know what DJs need in their streaming service, what's going to give them the best results, and it's going to just grow from here. Of course, we're going to be in new platforms, more content being added, new directions to go in. It's just the beginning, really, but we are very, very excited. So yeah, give us any feedback that you've got. Feed it straight back to the Beatsource team. Feed it back to us down in the comments below. Let us know what you think about this new direction in DJing. Stay safe. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe for all our future tips, tricks, and product reviews. I'll see you soon.